I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Love is all around us, and let the feeling show. Hello, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen. I am so excited, and this is not deja vu. Glenn is with us. He was here last week. Wow, what an amazing show! I thought it was my last gifted show, and just before the show, I got a message to say I can continue. I was like over the moon, but I didn't have any guests, Glenn. I didn't have, and I thought I had all your bio, and I had your beautiful picture. And Glenn, can I tell you something? The ladies of the Diamond Beauties women tribe or group loves you. They loves you. And you know, I think the way that you said, you give them permission to ask their gentlemen to do some chivalry and let them feel important. I think that was part of it because you came and inspire us in February, the 13th of February, a day before Valentine's. You came last week again. And Glenn, the ladies love you. So I don't know. How do you feel to hear that there's a 504 ladies and a lot of them love you?
uh, can you hear me? I'm so excited. Like, I love it. That's just a great week. And Valentine's was special. It was great to do that show as well.
Oh, wow. And you left us with a golden nugget last week. So you wanted to add something to that?
Yeah, I do. At the end of the last show, you asked to leave one golden nugget if we could. And I said to live authentically true to your values. And it just resonates huge with who I am. So if you don't mind, first of all, I got to thank you for what you're doing. I have to take a moment for that. Your show is incredible. For someone like yourself trying to change the world one person at a time and make the world a better place, to share the love like you are is incredible. And the people behind E360 TV to back it and support it and give you that kind of platform is huge. We need more of that in the world. And for me to meet you on a show called The Power Hour, and I speak and talk about taking back your power. So we're like bread and butter. We're made to be together. So I thoroughly enjoy it. Like, it's awesome. So thank you so much for the privilege. So yeah, last week I spoke, I made a comment at the end of the show about living authentically true to your values. And values are the essence of who we are. It's the core of who we are. It's what makes us tick as a person. So I kind of wanted to give a little example of that because it leads into who I am and how love resonates with me. So there's a little test you can do with yourself. And if you Google core values and look them up on the computer, there'll be 100, 125 core values. And if you take a piece of paper and write down the 10 core values that make you tick as a person, some kind of intermingle with each other. So it takes a few minutes to figure out the ones that you want. And when you find out what those 10 core values are, put yourself in a situation, whether it be a relationship with your husband, your wife, your kids, a partner, a friend, where you didn't hold it all together the way you should. And if you took a pen and scratched out each core value you gave up in that situation, a lot of times you're left with one core value or none. You gave them all away. So nobody takes them. We give them away. So when I say living authentically true to your values, when you live authentically true to them, at the end of every day, you'll be pretty happy with how you've lived your life. You'll be pretty happy with how you handled every situation. So once we understand what our core values are, we have to implement them into our lives and consistently work with them every single day. So I'll give you a quick example. I've told you this one before. So for me, I had my values laminated on a card. So this is the card here, and I have my card. And that card is just a little bit bigger than my credit cards. But every day I reach in my pocket, I can feel that card. And it reminds me to live authentically true to my values and to help me handle every situation that I get in. And anger and arguing or fighting or intolerance isn't any of them. You know what I mean? So when we live that way, we start to live by them. life becomes a lot more simpler. So our personal life, our professional life, and our love life becomes much more fun, and our communication becomes much better as well. So now you're in a relationship with yourself, and now you're ready to be in a relationship with somebody else. You're living proactive rather than reactive, which is huge, right? So the next thing I wanted to kind of get in, if you don't mind, was a poem, The Dash by Linda Ellis. And we've talked about the dash, right? And your dash, it's on my social media page where I say, live your dash to the fullest. It's not the date you're born or the date you die. It's the dash in between and how you live it. And that just resonates huge with me once again. So, you look at, your values in life and you work your way into the dash. And even if you look at our present dash and how we're living it, are we living this dash to our fullest? Are we the best husband we can be, the best wife, the best friend, the best dad, the best mom, the best grandfather, the best grandmother? So when you start to look at your dash, I don't want to ever get older and look back and say, I wish I lived my dash differently. I wish I did a better job. I wish I gave it more attention. I wish I gave my wife more attention. So when I look at that dash, I look at my present, how I handle it. I want to live the fullest relationship I can possibly live with the people around me and the love of my wife Paula. So I live by that dash. The one thing I made myself a deal with was I never want to be at the end of my journey and regret my dash. So I want to leave a dent, and I'm leaving a dent in my dash. And I hope people kind of resonate with that and read into it, So it's shows like this and reading and courses we all take about being a better person, being a more rounded person, a deeper person, and a bigger person that makes life even more fulfilled, right? So
I love that. And can I just say, here is a huge thunderstorm here in South Africa, in Johannesburg. So if you hear, it is just the thunder. So can I say to you, my beautiful Glenn, I love it. When you said about the dash, I love it. And I remember because February I was still in New Zealand. And for me, I promise that I will have so much fun with my two boys, my grandsons. Xander is almost 8 and Zayden is almost 3. We played hide and seek. We played STO stop. We played ring and roses. We danced every day. It was so much fun. I, I took them for ice cream and it was so much fun. And I promised myself, Sanet, you have to make sure that you capture everything, even the taste of the ice cream or the laughter of my grandsons. So I am back in South Africa for almost a month. And I can tell you, Glenn, my memory is because I use all my senses during my time with my grandsons. If I hear the ice cream truck that came past with ding-a-ling-a-ling, I remember their laughter. I remember Xander had ice cream on his nose. And that is part of the dot. Because when you mention it on that show that we have, Love is All Around Us in February, I just imagine, I cannot even foresee that my dot is not with my emotions. I love to use all my emotions. And if I wanted to dance or run around or turn around, I don't need somebody's permission to be happy. I only need myself, Sanet, to say, you have a choice. The morning when you wake up, the first thing I will say, thank you, my beautiful Lord, for giving me another day to breathe, to live, to laugh, to love. And then I will ask Sydney, what value can I give to you, me, Sydney, and then to others? And that, my beautiful Glenn, is the dot. And in the evening, I have to tell you this, but the Diamond Beauties knows about my sparkles. But in the evening, I don't go to bed with my hat. So I will my evening routine, and then I will, when the light is out, I will say, Sydney, did you leave your sparkle in somebody's heart and in memory? And then I will do a air tick with my head or with my hand. And that, my beautiful Glenn, that is my dot. Just leaving sparkles everywhere. And I must just say, have you just have a way to talk to us or to talk to me and the ladies. And everybody is saying they cannot wait. They could not wait for today's session. And we only sent out the marketing material this morning. So I cannot believe the response that we received to have you back. So I did a quote for us. I said, being in touch with love, with your words, services, and gifts, bring time to stand still in a unity of togetherness. So I thought, wow, that this 5 languages of love was so amazing. So before we start with that, I quickly want you to introduce you quickly. I know the show is already almost 12 minutes, but please introduce you please to us.
Well, obviously, my name is Glenn Edwards. I own 2 construction companies. I co-authored a book with Raymond Aaron, Les Brown, and Dr. John Gray. That was just a thrill of my life to come up with that. Huge part of being vulnerable and like obviously doing a book and putting your story out there. I have 2 daughters. I have 5 amazing grandchildren. I have 2 stepdaughters. Grandparenting is incredible, just like you obviously know. And I have the most incredible wife. She's just an inspiration to life. She makes the world a better place and absolutely makes me a better person. So it's just, she's an inspiration to me. She's got a story. It will come out one day. In the second book I'm doing called Emptiness Has a Ladder. And her story is just incredible. It just motivates me, and her inspiration to life and how she looks at life and how she lives every day. Just, I feed off of her. She's an intravenous of information and life to me and energy. So just an incredible woman. So yeah, so life's good. Life's been an amazing journey. It's actually this is off topic a little bit, but I've had an amazing life. My childhood, my teenage years, my adult years have just been incredible. And I reached a low one time where I actually planned my own exit. And my wife is a survivor of leukemia. So we're 2 opposite spectrums where I was planning an exit and she was doing everything she could to survive. So when you look at languages of love and you look at our dashes and how you can come together and share stories and understand each other, where you've been in your journey, like it's incredible. And when I listen to her talk and I listen to her stories, it moves, like it makes me weak in the knees because I can't even fathom what she's been through. But our understanding of each other and our passion for each other's interest and love of life, it's just, it magnifies every day and gets better every day. So incredible journey. And then meeting someone like you, trying to change the world like you are. So I've got you in my life as a friend who, the power of love and the rhythm of love. And I got a wife that just exudes it. So it's incredible.
That's amazing. So I know we've got so many questions that I have put on, but first I now I'm gonna ask you that we didn't even say we're gonna say. So are you ready for a question?
I'm ready.
You just said now that you were at one time that you decided maybe you don't want to be here anymore. That was an incredible difficult time in your life. How did you feel about yourself during that time?
I was alienated from my grandkids, and I'd lost a 33-year marriage. So I kind of sat back at that particular point and kind of had a reflection of why I was here. I kind of lost my values. Not kind of, I did. I gave them away. I lost my desire for my dash. And a guy like me who has, I love having fun. I'm always joking around. I engage with everybody. I'm the talker of the family and my wife and that for sure. People don't believe it, but we all go through different things where we just, when I came out with the book and I shared that part of my life, I actually got emotional about it because I actually became very vulnerable. But I said to my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, if I help one person, it's worth it. And I've had people from all over the world reach out to me. So there's a saying I love, your friends don't need a reason and your enemies won't accept one. So my friends, they support me, they back me, and they love me for who I am. and the people around the world that have reached back, and even close to me here in my own community that have reached out, the hugs and support and the love I've got because they've been in the same position. And you realize we're just, for us to open up and be a little more vulnerable, a little more compassionate, a little more understanding of each other instead of judging. Right?
That's amazing. That's amazing. You know, Glenn, I also came to a very difficult time in my life. It was actually that I know all my years I was very overweight. And but when I was on that beach on the 6th of April 2019, and my family were already in the cave while they were exploring, I could not do the 3 miles to the cave. And I felt like a heart attack that day. For me to tell my grandson, Zanderkie, Alma could not get to the cave, be in the picture because she's too fat. Just that, just that wording, it broke me that day. If I think about that day, it's like, I know I get tearful, but that day was like my pinnacle point in my life. And I remember looking over the ocean and I said to God, I I cannot do this. I cannot. I have been dieting for many years. I was an overweight child. I I done so many diets. I was like the lowest point in my life. And I promised him I will do my best. I will keep my promise if he can just help me. And then that day, the sun came out and it hit my heart and my face. And I lost 165 pounds.
Wow. Wow.
But while you're in that lowest of low point, and I never knew I would be looking like this. I just knew that I cannot go on like the way I was going on. I never knew, but I started to imagine, to me, what if, what if you start to have a relationship with yourself in the mirror? And that's how I started. That same day, I went and stand in front of the mirror and asked myself, to me, why do you want to lose the weight? And I said, because I want to be with my grandson Zander. New Zealand has a policy, if your BMI is over 35%, you cannot have a work permit. You cannot. And mine was 54%, so I was very overweight. And then I asked myself, okay, so if you want to lose the weight, that way. And that's I was
Oh, I've lost you there. We're frozen there a little bit, Sanet. Oh, you're back now.
Am I back? Am I back?
You're back, yeah.
Okay.
The one thing I want to
Okay.
say there,
Thank
you
you
said
so
about
much,
being
Glenn.
sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
You made a comment about being in a relationship with yourself.
I
And that's
just
exactly
want
go ahead.
no,
Go ahead, Sanet.
just one more thing before I end out that conversation. I ask myself, Sami, yes, you want to lose the weight for Sunday. You want to play with him, but why? But then that day, I knew I want to live. I don't want to die. And if I continue like this, I'm going to die. So, yes, I changed. And I'm so thankful I changed. And I'm so thankful that God has helped me every step of the way. In order for me to stand in front of you, and yes, look here, I'm standing in front of you to say thank you for being here. I just want to mention something. I don't see any comments coming through, so I'm not sure why is that so, Glenn. If I can ask you just to tell us a little bit more, and then we will start with the 5 languages. I will just want to see if there's something that is not coming through.
I want to touch base on what you said there earlier about being in a relationship with yourself. And that's exactly what I said earlier about your values and your dash and like living authentically true to who you are. Because you do have to be in a relationship with yourself. You have to be able to love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, how can you expect someone else to love you, or even for you to love someone? Because you become reactive in life. You know, when you live authentically true to your values, you're proactive and you actually know how you're going to handle the situation. Value. But if you're reactive, you're kind of like a pinball in life, just bouncing off situations, reacting to what comes at you. But you find much more control in life, and it's always a work in progress. Like, these are things that are a lifestyle. It's just not something you pick up and you do and you say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. You start, but it takes effort every single day. Like, I'm 63 years old and I work at it. I know. It's old. I know. I'm the old generation coming.
No, you don't look 63. I didn't expect that.
It goes way too fast. Like, that's the thing, I guess, as you get older, you realize how fast life goes. And I got to pick my journey up, and I got to live my dash a little better than what I have done. It's, but it's everything we do is a lifestyle to get it, to live the way we want to live. At the end of the day, if you look back, did I make it the best day I could? And we're going to have the bad days for sure. But why not make them the best? Like, get off the couch, shut off the TV, and start talking and doing things together and have some fun.
And start dancing.
Yeah, absolutely. My wife, she's danced for 26 years, and I haven't ruined her feet yet. Like, I haven't stepped on them that many times, but I'm getting more comfortable. I'm not crushing them on her, so But yeah, dance is amazing. Like, I've done waltz. Like, I've done every kind of dance through her and her sister, and like, there's some dances I've actually cried because they're just a beautiful music. Like doing a nice waltz, and you get to learn certain things, and you're just so in touch with that person. Like, your bodies are just moving as one. And when you can do that and you actually know what you're doing, it's beautiful. Like, there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable, like even in love, to have an emotional moment. But she's looked at me like, you're actually crying. It's like, yeah, the music's beautiful and the dance is beautiful. So, you gotta love it.
Amazing. So, please, I don't know if you see the comments is coming now through. So I just want to say, ladies, if you are in the Diamond Beauties, just put your name in, because it only says Facebook user, but here it says beautiful. Put thank you, and it's Daisy from the Diamond Beauties. And if you can give me a minute, because now it's coming through. It says here, you are such an inspiration, Sanet. Thank you so much. And then love is such a powerful inspiration. And then the next one is fall in love with yourself. I like this.
Absolutely.
I like that very much. I'm going to quickly read in a few, and that is from Anjana. Thank you, Anjana. And she also said, self-love is self.
Not so.
I love it. I love it. And the next one says, time seems to go faster as you age. I know, Glenn, over 58 this year. Well, I don't feel it. And I said to my husband today, I saw a Tanya, a auntie, busy crocheting. And he said, Sanet, you cannot tell me that auntie is an auntie because you're also an auntie. I said, yes. But I don't feel like an auntie. But I know I'm a grandmother, but I don't feel like it. And then we've got Duchess DJ Love. She said, hello, Sanet, five love languages, quality time. And then another one said, we need to have fun. That's exactly. So there is quite a Duchess. There's a enjoy your time together. Lucy, I don't know Lucy. Maybe you know Lucy.
That's
Again with you, Glenda.
She's a sweetheart. I love Lucy. She was a professional dancer, actually, and she has her own studio, and that's how my wife Paula got into dance. And the two of them are just incredible to watch them dance and be a part of it. Lucy teaches now for people to have social dances, social fun, not to necessarily compete. She can teach that, but she teaches people to have fun now as a couple and enjoy each other. It's incredible. She's been amazing for me, and just like her and Paula both, just the two of them.
Wow, amazing. So while you speak about her, you gave me goosebumps. So Lucy, I just want to say thank you for inspiring couples to start dancing, because when they start to dance, they are holding each other and there's no time for fighting. It's just getting closer and enjoy each other. So thank you so much for that, Lucy. And then I'm going to read two more. And then Duchess DJ, she is gallivanting like a royal from the Diamond Beauties. And then, oh, thank you, Sanet, for loving yourself and inspiring others to do the same. So let us go to your questions. Are you ready for that, Glenn?
I am, for sure.
Wow, here we go. So, how did you become interested in the concept of the five love languages, and why do you think they are so important in a relationship?
You know what? I didn't really become interested in them. I've always been into chivalry. I've always been into dating and courting. Like I've told you in the previous show, I court my wife now. I still court at 63. Even in my 33-year marriage, I courted right to the end. I court Paula every single day. She's my girlfriend. I treat her like a girlfriend. I treat her like someone's trying to steal her, because in reality, there always is somebody that's willing to steal your partner. You should never take for granted the person that you have. I have chivalry in my life every single day, from the time I wake up, from the time I go to bed. And it's just part of who I am and part of my makeup. When I found out about the 5 languages of love, I actually just fell in love even more with it. It's funny because actually today, I had no idea. Paula pulled out this book, The 5 Languages of Love. She's actually has the book, and she's actually read the book. And I didn't know, in the years I've known her, I didn't know she had that book. So I started looking through it today, and we started pulling out some things to look at. It's an incredible book, an incredible story, and every couple should read it. And I haven't even read it myself. I have no idea what's in it. But as she read me some of the captions about, the 5 languages, there's so much to learn. And you realize even myself, the things I could implement into our relationship to make it better. And we've done this, both of us, all the way along. So as far as how important it is, it's everything. Because without it, you're settling. You haven't taken your relationship to the fullest it can possibly go. Because really, your relationship should never be done.
No.
You should always try to make it better.
Amazing. Can I tell you something? Today, my husband and myself were walking towards the car. We are married for 32 years. So, for years, he didn't open the door. So, today, I have asked him since the show in February, aren't you going to open the door for me? And then he will come and open. But it's not in his thinking to do that. So, today, I tell him, are you going to open the door for me? If not, I'm going to tell Glenn in the power hour that you don't want to do it. So next, and he come and open the door for me.
You know what's interesting today? I got to make a point to that. Like you're saying about the 5 languages and the concept of it. When you meet someone, we all have our 5 languages in different orders. Usually, they're usually not the same order as your partner, but it's no different. And they kind of make this comment in the book. If I spoke English and I met a woman who spoke Spanish, she's beautiful, she's successful, but I don't speak Spanish. I've got to learn her language, and we have to learn each other's language to be able to speak to each other. Love language is the same thing. If you've never done that, how do you know what their 5 languages are? Like we talked about Valentine's, and men in general will run to the store and they buy a card and flowers, and they think they've done their thing. But what if your wife wanted time? What if she wanted touch? What if she wanted words? But we just do it out of habit to run there and get flowers and say, well, I got you flowers and I took you for dinner. Right?
So Glenn, while we're on that subject, do you have a small snippet of all the 5 languages that you can share with us? And then can you tell us also what is your favorite and also your wife's 4 last one?
The 5 languages are time, touch, words, service, and gifts. So I'll say it again. Time, touch, words, service, and gifts. So mine in order is actually that order. Actually, no, it's changed a little bit. I'll have to correct myself. Time is number 1. Words has become number 2. And the reason why is my wife doesn't talk as much as I do. It used to be touch was my number 2. And now words is my number 2. And now she works with words to try and give me that second language. And then next is service and gifts. My wife, it's actually funny because hers time was number 1. And we actually talked about this the other day when you and I discussed coming on the show. And I said, what's your 5 now? Have they changed? And she goes, I don't have a list anymore. Because she says, you give me an overabundance of all 5.
Wow.
She goes, all 5 are so over the top, I can't even make a list anymore.
Wow.
That doesn't mean I'm done. That means I have a bar to make. Like I can sit back and go, I've done my job, but I haven't done my job. I've done what I'm supposed to do.
I think you win the extra mile, Glenn.
But you have to maintain it. Like it'll only stay that way if I maintain it. Like it's like anything in life. Like we work really hard at it, and let's say we want to clean house, and we clean the whole house and it becomes immaculate. All you do now is maintain. In other words, the same thing goes here. If I implement all these love languages in my life with my wife, and I get to where I'm doing a good job, I have to maintain it. That's it. It's not so much work anymore. It's become a lifestyle. It's become a habit.
Beautiful. Glenn, we have quite a long message, and maybe this person knows you, so I'm quickly going to read it. Pop to say hello from, I cannot even pronounce.
Mississauga, Canada.
So it's, oh, if you hear, it's the thunder now. Oh, can you hear?
Yeah.
So it's raining down in Africa. So you know this lady? Tell us a little bit about her.
I'm a family experiment. Hello to Glenn as well. I just learned that my partner of 2 years, Mario. Yeah, I know Mario very well. Yeah, so she's Mario's partner. Mario's just a really great guy. I met him at dance. The guy's got a heart of gold. He actually lives a little further away right now. We don't see each other as much, but hello to Mario and his partner because Mario's just a great guy. I miss him at dance. I wish he was there.
Oh, wow.
Really good guy. Yeah, big heart.
Oh, wow. So thank you so much for watching. And then I want to go to, you actually have done number 2 the question already. So let me just bring up number 3. And then let me tell, here we are. How can someone figure out their partner's love language if their partner hasn't explicitly told them what it is?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. It kind of goes back to the value thing. If you have your core values and you looked at them, for example, I'll pull mine out because it kind of relates to this. So I'm not sure you can pop that question back up there. So one of my core values is communication, validation, clarity. So those 3 right there, I need to have. There you go. I need those in my life. So I have communication is one of my values. I would know that through communicating with my partner. Validation or acknowledgement, they kind of go together. Acknowledgement or validation would be, I need validation that you understand, or I need validation or acknowledgement of what they are. So when I start to put my values into place, that's how you would have that right in play all the time. So if you're communicating and talking and understanding each other and working within your values, the answer would be in that question right there, for sure.
I actually this was the question, how you can find out. And then I pull up the next one, but actual fact, you have answered both of them. So thank you so much. So when we had our power hour with the Diamond Beauties, you also mentioned, and I love it, chivalry. So I'm going to go to the next question. I can see there's quite a lot of comments coming in now, but I need to put this on the screen before I lose it again like last time. You mentioned that you have a few tips for shivering.
Yeah,
for us, please.
Yeah, there's so many, like I gave you a situation the other day. My wife and I were going into a restaurant, and there was a young couple coming out. And I'd gotten out of my vehicle and went around and opened Paul's door. And we came walking into the restaurant, and there was a couple coming out. And the guy goes, "Wow, you make me look bad getting your wife's door like that." I said, "That's the way it's supposed to be. Like, you should be doing the same thing." So my wife and I intentionally stood there and watched the young man and woman go to their car. He didn't get her door. So he made the comment to acknowledge what I did, but then didn't do it himself. And that's a situation where easily a woman could say, "Hey, get over here. You just saw him do it. Why don't you do it?" Like, but sometimes, like, especially nowadays, sometimes women have to take, initiative and start saying what they'd like. Nobody, like, the thing is too, like, there's women that are very independent and they might say, "I don't need a man to do that for me." Nobody needs anybody to do it for them. But it's nice to be treated with respect. It's nice to be treated like a lady. It's nice to be treated like a gentleman. I'll tell you a quick little story. In the last year and a half, I had major foot surgery, and I had my foot rebuilt. So I was on crutches. I was on for lack of a better word, a peg leg, so I couldn't put any pressure on my foot. And the public reached out to help everywhere I went. They'd open the door for me. They'd hold the door for me. They'd run to get the door for me. They'd hold the elevator for me. Everybody in general stepped up and did more than they ever would. But when my foot got better, people don't do it. Why not? Why not still do it? Why not still be polite, kind, courteous? So when you look at your partner, why not learn about chivalry? There's so many things. I asked my wife to make a list actually of a few things, so I can give you some if you want. So
Yes.
okay.
Okay. So before you go, ladies, do you want to have some tips so that you can tell your man, "Hey, buddy, hey, buddy, come here." Yes, please, Glenn.
So I asked my wife to look into it, what she thought some of them were, and she had no problem doing it, but there's so many things, so she kind of made a list of priorities. So first she Googled or looked up chivalry, and it's the qualities of an ideal knight in medieval times. So courage, honor, courtesy, and justice. So here's a short list of some of the things she says I do for her. Oh.
I didn't know you're gonna do that. I should have bring my drum and put some drum, but I've got something else. Let me just
You can make the noise. You can just do the,
Oh, here it is. Wait. Oh, I can't get to it. Okay, ladies, are you ready?
I love it. Okay, so these are some that Paula made a list of. So opening doors, of course, like any door. Doesn't matter where we are, what we do, or car doors. Getting out of the car when I pick her up. So if I drop her at a restaurant at the front door, I get out of the car and I'll walk around and open the door for her. And if I come to pick her up, I get out of the car and walk around and get the door for her. Dropping her off at the door for parking, carrying her bags. I carry her bags. She has an office bag she carries. When we travel, I'll push her suitcase. And she always gives me heck for that one because she'll say, "I'm not useless." I say, "I know." But they're not a big deal. They're on wheels. Like, so I'll take her suitcase. Offering her arm when we're walking, for sure. Like I got to check some of these off. I don't repeat them. Walking on the outside of a woman on the sidewalk. So I always walk on the street side. For me, I've always learned that's the protection side. So I keep her away from the curb. And a lot of people don't believe in that. A lot of guys do. And a lot of people have no idea. So I'll always keep her to the inside of the street, on the inside of where the buildings are. Giving up my jacket. I've given her my jacket so many times in cold weather. She's had a chill, and I'll give her my suit jacket. I'll give her my winter coat. I can suck it up for a little bit. And I've done that quite a few times. Giving up my seat for her. I'll give her my seat anytime and every time. I'll always do that. Help her with her coat to put it on and take it off. I always do that with her no matter what. It's just a habit. Allowing her to enter the room first. Whether we go to dance and walk into Lucy's studio, walk into a restaurant, walk into a function, I'll always present my wife first. I'll always step back, let her come first or beside me. And for lack of a better word, I present her. I'll walk in front of her or behind her on stairs. She has some issues with her knees right now, so I'll walk in front of her so she can hold on to my shoulders. So I always help her up and down stairs if she's having any issues like that. Holding her chair and letting her sit down or get up from a table. If she gets up from a table, I'll pull the chair out. Or if she's sitting down at a table, I'll pull the chair out, push it back in for her to sit. I even do that at the dining room table here at home. I'll leave the last piece of food for her. Even I have a sweet tooth. I love sweets. I love chocolate. I love all kinds of stuff. I love desserts. And I'll always leave the last bite for her. I'll always leave her the last scoop of ice cream or whatever it is we're having. So allowing her place, I always have her order first at a restaurant. I'll always make sure she's ready to order or what drink she would like to have before we order. Keeping her a beverage glass full. I always keep her topped up. I don't let her run out of a drink, whether it be water, wine, or whatever it is. I bring her flowers every week. Every week I get her flowers. It's just a habit. Sometimes she's with me, sometimes she's not, but I always give her flowers. Every week I bring home flowers for her, and I'll come to her defense in her honor. Always. Always. And trust me, she's an independent woman, very proud of who she is and her power and independence, but she's learned to allow me to be a gentleman because she didn't have a lot of this in her past life, and it took her some adjusting to allow it. She used to grab the door handle every time we went into a door, and I'd say, just let me get the door. So it's an adjustment. It's not that she's not useless in any way, shape, or form. She's a powerful, independent woman and very successful. But I like to treat her like, the beautiful woman that she is.
Wow, amazing. I'm going to bring up now the comments, Glenn. And I just say, I've got a cousin. They are married for 54 years. My cousin's husband is like you. Buy flowers every week. Still open his door. He will open her door, let her in, and then he will tell me to wait and then open my door when I have to get into the back. He will come and open for us the door. A lot of the things that he does, I have observed it from him as well. But I can tell you now, for all those years, he was the only gentleman that have done that. My husband sometimes does the flowers, sometimes do the door, but what he always does, I love to hook in with him. Or he will take me here at my back and guide me towards some. I love it. He will always open the door. And always at home, he will also make sure that it's safe for us to enter the house. And then the street thing, I know people don't know about the street thing, but he as well. If I am in the wrong side of him, he will go to the other side where the cars is. It's just he's in his nature to do that. So I can give him a few pointers. He does a few things, but I must just say, looking at all the comments, I quickly want to bring them up. This one says, I love that about the man. You are such a treasure. And then Nelda said, when you get up this morning, when I got up this morning, I was just thinking about what did romance,
Where did romance go?
Oh, go. Yeah, yes, is the next part. Go.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nelda. Sorry, Nelda. And then, and now this is Glenn. I see you say Mario, but we need a clone, Glenn. We need a clone. And then this beautiful person says, I'm crying. I could only dream of such a man. Oh, wow.
If I could just say something, Zanette, like we said it before, like I always tell women and men as well, never lower your bar. You can bend your bar. You can bend it a bit, but never lower it. Because once you've lowered it, you'll never get that back. There's an exercise I did many years ago with my family in the past, my one daughter, and it was a listening exercise. And this is huge for men. It's huge for everybody, but men especially, because I'm a protective person. I protect strangers. It's just how I've been through my childhood. And the listening exercise was, it makes me mad, glad, sad, angry, whatever the emotion is, when you do this. I'd like you not to do that anymore, so I don't feel this way.
Wow.
And then you repeat it. to the person. So Zanette, if you said it to me, I would say it back. So it makes you feel this way when I do this. You'd like me not to do that so you don't feel that way. So what I'm
Wow.
doing is acknowledging and validating what upsets you. So when we learn the exercise, my one daughter said, it makes me frustrated when I come home from school and tell you about my day. And you tell me what to do or what I should say when I go back to school. Could you not do that in the future so I don't feel frustrated? And it broke my heart because all I was trying to do was protect her, but she didn't ask me what to do. She didn't ask me for advice. She was just telling me about her day. But I took it upon myself. Well, I'll fix that. I'll get her help. Like, I'll make sure they don't do that to her again. She was just talking to me. She didn't ask me for what to do, what to say, or how to handle it. And I think with men, especially, and I'll pick on them for a little minute, we need to learn to listen to our partner, to listen to other people. Did they ask you for advice? Or were they just venting? Because I know I wouldn't want someone telling me what I should do every time if I was just venting about a story or venting about my day. And I've never forgotten that. And that's probably 14 years ago. And I carry that with me every day. So, it's a huge lesson in listening. It's an acquired art, and it takes a lot of work to become a good listener.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Thank you for that, Glenn. We have, let me just see if this what my guys does for me. So I appreciate him. Too bad so few men to do so. And then there's another one says, my ex never came to my defense and allowed other men to slap me. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. And then Mario says, hello, Anelda. So I'm sure Mario and Anelda know each other. And then another one, we make sure to let one another know daily how much we appreciate one another. Wow, that is amazing. And it's such a pity because it's from the Diamond Beauties. The Facebook doesn't allow us to have the person's name. So I'm very happy that you have given us this beautiful comment. And now they say, "What? You are a kind man. I've been looking for you." I'm so sorry. Hope those that are not taken are listening. And now that I know there's not a lot men like Glenn. And I saw Glenn for the first time while on his thumbnail on his Facebook. He was dancing with his wife Paula, but the way he looked at her with such that 5 months back.
I think we froze there for a minute. I got you back now, I think. There you go. I got you back.
Okay, okay. And then I saw that about 5 months back. And then in the beginning of January, I was looking for my gentleman for the love goes around for the Valentine cancel. And I remember Glenn. I just remember that photograph. And Glenn, I am truly so happy that I have decided to message you because you have bestowed 3 times. You have bestowed your wisdom, your beautifulness. I don't know actually how to say it, but in Afrikaans, it's a beautiful word. It says, jy is pragtig verby. That's the Afrikaans word for beautifulness. I think so. I think. But I want to say you have now bestowed 3 times your wisdom for us. You are amazing. So I'm actually going to ask you, if there's anything that you would love to leave with us, not just women, but as men as well.
I guess I have a thought in a different way. Like you look at an athlete, a golfer, a hockey player, in your own fitness in your life, a speaker, a host. We practice. We practice to become better at it. We practice to better be an athlete, to be a better athlete, to be a better dancer, to whatever it is we do in life that our hobbies are, we practice. What is it you're doing in your relationship that you're practicing? How much of your day, 20 minutes, half an hour, do you take out to work on your relationship? To actually sincerely sit there and talk, to own your mistakes. Like my wife and I we're renovating a house, and the other day we were trying to get the security system to work, and I got frustrated, and I was just tired, and I wanted to go, and I was short with my wife. It had nothing to do with her, but I was a little bit short, and we drove in separate cars because we were doing different things that day. And I called her; she was in the car in front of me, and I said, "I'm sorry, I was short. There was no reason to be short." And she goes, "It's okay." And I said, "I have to own my frustration was with the person on the phone, not with Paula. And I wasn't rude to her. I was just short. But that's not one of my values. But you have to acknowledge our mistakes. There's no excuse. Just own your mistake and move forward. There's no but to an apology. There's no but to why you did something. It was wrong."
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Glenn. So, Glenn, can you believe our time is almost up? So, I would love to ask if you will have a dance with me on my forever song.
Mhm.
Oh, well, my forever song is Walking on Sunshine, and because we cannot play it, I did ask Jennifer Gerald to write me a signature song, and she brought Walking on Sunshine in. She brought fairy dust in. She brought sparkles in. So I'm quickly going to cue it, and then we will say our goodbyes just after that. So, ladies and gentlemen, please have a dance with me.
From butterflies to eagles. Oh, there's magic in that flight. Sprinkle me with fairy dust. Watch me take to the sky. Singing, dancing,
I got that one. Hang on.
soaring high above. Sprinkle me with fairy dust and cover me with love. Give yourself a boost, dear one. Give yourself a hug. Dance a little, laugh a little. Give yourself some love. Let that love ignite your smile. Child, you are on fire. Grab a little fairy dust and fly a little higher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing, Glenn. All the things that I wanted in a song, she have put in there. So, Glenn, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. And then all the Diamond Beauties, thank you for all your comments, ladies. You are amazing. And for those people that that really don't want to go the extra mile in chivalry, just take a U-turn and do something, even if it's one thing, and maybe you'll get more love. Maybe you will get more hugs. Maybe you will get more kisses. And if it's going a little bit more, then try something else because you never know where all the sparkles in there. So thank you so much, everyone. And then just one more last thing. If you would love to have a dance with me, visit my website, selfloveforme.com. Fill in a discovery call, and we will have a beautiful song anchoring together. So I want you to have a beautiful day. Bye, everyone.